Happy Sunday, everybody. Good morning. How is everyone? Since most of you know that Keith Urban has been my absolute favorite artist since 2004, I'll put in my 2 cents about his divorce. I am absolutely mortified at the rumors and the speculation that is going around. As in any celebrity divorce, people always take sides. People always assume somebody cheated. And it's a normal thing. I know that. And you can't stop people from doing it. But in this case, it really bothers me and it hurts me because I have been following Keith since 2004. Like every single step of his career. I've seen every single tour, as you know. I had a meet and greet with him. I've watched him in interviews. And I honestly feel he is a good person. He has never shown aggression to anyone that I have seen. Now, in the old days when he was using, I can't speak to that because I really don't know how he was when he was drinking or using, substance abuse. But the man that I have watched for the past 20 some years, I believe is a good man. I believe, my opinion, I know I don't like speculation and I don't like rumor, but I'm just going to give my personal opinion, all right? From what I have seen of Keith, he is very kind. He has a big heart. He loved Nicole so much, and he loves his daughters so much. For this to have happened, to me, something big had to have happened. Either I have always felt that Nicole works too much. Every time you turn around, she's in a different country filming a movie. And I always said to myself, does she ever spend time with her family? You know? Because she's always away filming. And I can imagine the strain it would put on a relationship to never see your spouse, who, to me, just my opinion, is putting their career first ahead of her family. Just because the girls are growing up doesn't mean it's okay for you to go away and do movie after movie after movie in different parts of the world non-stop for the past couple of years. You know, from what I hear, it's just hearsay. She did spend a lot of time home when the girls were growing up, which was good. And I guess now that they're teenagers, she feels it's okay for her to do that. But, and the movies that she has been doing are really questionable for a woman who has a husband and daughters. Publications have interviewed Nicole, and she's had a lot of questionable things about her movies and her sexual scenes that are extremely provocative and close, very close to X-rated at times. I think that I, as a husband, I know that it's a movie, but when you do it over and over and over, you start to question, why is she doing movies like this? And then in print, you see an article where she's talking about how she orgasmed so much during filming that she had to try and calm down because she didn't want to have any more. Things like that are very, very questionable, you know? And in my opinion, the movies, along with the constant being away from each other, is hard. Um, I wish they could have worked it out. I wish that she had put a little less emphasis on her career and more on her husband. Now, this could all be totally wrong. It could be. This is just my opinion. All right. I don't know these people. I don't know what went on behind closed doors. But in my opinion, Keith is a good man. Nicole, I don't know much about her. She seemed like a nice person, you know, when we saw her on stage and all that. But I can speak more to Keith than her, you know. So, yeah, I'm no expert, and like I say, I don't know Keith personally, but from what I have seen of him, there has to be a very good reason for this. And I was watching videos of his concert the day after Nicole filed for divorce, and you could tell he was not himself. Um, he looked broken, absolutely broken, and I could feel the pain emanating from him. And sometimes it is so hard when you are an empath because you feel what other people feel. And I'm telling you, for about 12 hours, my heart was so heavy because I felt the pain coming from him. Um, I've always had this, I don't know what you call it. I've always had this ability to feel what people are feeling. All I have to do is look at a picture and I know if they're happy or not. You know, that's just the way I've been, and it's always been right on, you know, been right on because then I'll find out either later in the day or the next day that I was extremely right, that something was wrong, they weren't doing well. Um, that's just the way I am, and I just have that sixth sense, you know. So my opinion is, I think, and even in the divorce agreement, it looks like that they really, really went through everything together, you know, not getting any alimony. Uh, Keith has already paid for the child care costs, and they're going to be making decisions together about the girls. And it was just very well thought out. And I think that Nicole, maybe she wasn't even in the United States when he signed it on August 29th, the divorce separation. And because she signed it on September 6th. And from what I understand, he was wearing his wedding ring up until that day. And then on the next concert, he did not wear his ring. And I feel for both of them. I can imagine how hard it is when you've been together for 19 years. It saddens me that people resort to divorce so quickly these days. But I guess, for 19 years and trying to work things out, supposedly, if it's got to happen, it's got to happen. You want to be happy in this life. And if you're not, you have a right to decide to end a relationship and go on. They are remaining friends. They're going to be co-parenting the girls. And that's the best you can do. I mean, there are a lot of exes who are cordial and, you know, and nice to each other and all that. So it's possible. So those are my thoughts about Keith. I hurt for him. And at the end of his show, he said, "Thank you all for your support and love. I really appreciate it." And then, as an afterthought, he said, "And I need it." Says it all. Those are my thoughts. I will always adore Keith. I will always love him. I hope to God I can get to another show before the end of my life. It was a real bummer that I couldn't make his High and Alive tour. And, but that's life. So, God bless Keith and God bless Nicole. And I hope that their hearts heal.